You know, for years, we've had to live under the thumb of people that are like this, and those days are over.
There are no repercussions for this anymore. Let's go. Isn't that good? You deserve to be suppressed. Your views deserve to be shut down because what you're saying is dangerous. Your bigotry shouldn't be normalized.
I'm going to do my best job to kill them as well as I can.
Metaphorically, of course.
Metaphorically, of course.
Metaphorically, of course.
I enjoy it. It's very fun for me to do this.
I always get hit with like, oh, why do you keep talking about being trans? Why do you talk about transness? Why do you make it your whole personality? I'm gay, and I don't make it my whole personality. You people give us a bad reputation by being so vocal and obnoxious, and it's like, we have to. We are not going to get any rights. We are not going to get any freedom by just being silent. Staying in the closet and hiding. We have to be visible. And they make it incredibly hard. Society makes it really hard for you to be different. If you are visible and you inspire others, it's going to get a lot easier. Oh, nobody would come after you if you just wouldn't challenge the status quo. If you just wouldn't disrupt the natural order, the hierarchy of the society. And it's like, the status quo sucks. Privileged people oppress marginalized groups. The status quo sucks. The natural order, the strong should make the rules. Yeah, and women shouldn't open their bank account because they need a man. They need their husband, their owner, to open a bank account. The property shouldn't be allowed to do anything without their master's will. So we have to disrupt. We have to be vocal. We have to go on the streets and protest. People have to riot. The thing is, like, you go and listen to people like Asmongold, or even like Nux Taku. You listen to people like them.
By the way, I'll be real, this is crazy. People say, Nux, I can't believe you have no empathy for these people that are getting deported. No, I have no empathy for the people being deported. I'm sorry. Having empathy for the cruel is being cruel to the innocent. I have zero empathy for the people that are being deported if they are not American citizens.
But they are American citizens. That is like the whole problem. Because this fascist regime just looks at you, classifies you whether or not you're white enough, and then just ships you away without due process, without looking at your documentation. Innocent people are getting sent away, and this lunatic who lives in Israel on stolen land in a stolen home is talking about the innocent and how unfair it is, and how he has no empathy for these people who are fighting against the fascist regime. The protests were mostly peaceful. Sure, protests disrupt. That's kind of like the point. But when Trump sent in the National Guard and escalated it, that's when the riots started. Because when they started shooting random civilians, there's one journalist, for example, of course, it's escalating. You know why we had the riots at Stonewall? Because the police made it that way. They were violent, and people fought back. People were fed up with the oppressors just coming in there, raiding them. Of course, eventually people are going to fight back. But to sympathize with the fascist regimes is just insane. Would I call the West Bank the danger zone? Destiny speculates that he would get killed by some crazy Palestinians.
Oh, I'm actually going in 3 days for 2 weeks, so.
You're going to Israel in 3 days?
Hell yeah, I'm going to West Bank, interview people, hopefully not get assassinated.
Okay.
I am not going to the West Bank. However, I'll...
And then, you know, like, people call it out, and then they're like, oh, why do you start drama? Why do you make it drama? It's because, like, these people basically constantly spread propaganda, fascist propaganda, and nobody holds them accountable. There are no repercussions for people spreading fascist. It doesn't matter if it's Zionist propaganda, Nazi rhetoric, you know, it literally doesn't matter. People just get away with it, and anybody who speaks out against it is just being bullied. So I can't believe this one. You know, and then like Asmongold.
So obey the law. When Hitler said kill all the Jews, you'd obey your master. You're comparing this to Hitler?
How is ICE not the Gestapo? Trump basically turning the US into a dictatorship. How is that not like Hitler? The war on trans people, the war on autistic people, on medicine, on the education system, on the journalists and the news outlets. How is it not like Hitler? Like, what the
So obey the law. When Hitler said kill all the Jews, you'd obey your master?
You didn't even like answer the question.
You're comparing this to Hitler?
Would you follow, quote unquote, the law? Probably, yeah.
And this is the mindset that these people have, right? I just want to read some of the comments here. Your keyboard warrior Trump's out there fighting in the streets? Yeah, I mean, I disagree with the fight. I mean, why would I go out there and support something and go protest for something that I don't even agree with? Why would I do that? And also, it's just some fucking bricks. They have bulletproof glass windows. So do you think it would be okay to shoot a gun at them? Because the glass is bulletproof? Do you think it would be okay to shoot a gun at these officers?
During the back and forth between police and protesters yesterday, an Australian reporter was shot by a non-lethal projectile.
Moving them on through the heart of LA.
How is that okay? How are you not calling out these people who are doing that?
You said you obey the law. Hitler's also doing the law in Germany. I think that there's a certain amount of like moral decision making with the law too. But I agree with this morality of the law.
So as long as you agree with the law, you're going to follow it. Well, we don't agree with the law. And the thing is, like, these illegal raids and they're illegal. Sending people off, deporting them into foreign prison camps without due process is against the law. And you still have no problems with it.
Like, I don't want to confuse you. Like, no, I agree with this. I think that people in the country illegally should get deported. Like full stop. Obviously, I think that it's more efficient to focus on criminals first, definitely. But I think that they all should get deported.
The problem is also that they are pulling up, like, the mafia, smashing in windows, and just taking people and sending them wherever without due process. Disappearing a bunch of people because they look a certain way. And you don't have issues with that. Obviously you don't. Because you're also like a fan of Anders Breivik. There was also like something that I saw because I was curious. There was this one part that I actually wanted to like talk about because I haven't seen other clips of it. I only saw this this one. I got canceled my response.
I don't like you. I don't like what you stand for. I don't like the values that you're trying to push. I don't like the agenda that you have. I don't like the fact that you try to get people canceled. I don't like anything about you. So the fact is that if I have a way that I can fight back against that, I will, in the same way that you tried to fight back against her. So you're not mad that you're having people fighting. You're mad that you're losing.
I just want to like talk about it because I'm making a broader point. But like I don't think that I'm losing. It's just like I don't have a platform. You are delusional if you believe that me, a streamer who can't even break 200 viewers on Twitch, is able to cancel streamers that are so much bigger than me. It was never about actually getting someone canceled. It was about being part of the group that stands up to you and maybe getting other people to speak about the rampant rise of fascist right-wing talking points spreading through the mouth of creators, and not just you know, face cam streamers like you, Asmon, but also VTubers. Anime waifus are spreading fascist talking points to cater to the 4chan sickos. VTubers need to do a better job at pushing back against it. Because if you can consider yourself apolitical by spreading common sense and saying that like, oh, illegal aliens deserve to be shot. Oh, Palestinians come from an inferior culture. If you can say these things and still have a platform, then people should be able to be like, hey, you know, actually, that's kind of Palestinians do not deserve to be genocided. But when someone calls you out, when someone pushes back against your rhetoric, then you come along and you send your hate mob after them and you make like 5 videos calling yourself cancelled. Let's be real. You are just going to keep profiting off it because nobody holds fascists accountable. There are no repercussions for people like you. And I'm frustrated with it, obviously, because I'm on the right side of history and you're on the far right. You're on the Nazi side of history. And it sucks. You're weaponizing your platform, you're weaponizing your reach, you're cheating the algorithm by pushing outrage, weaponizing transphobic talking points and other bigotries to get boosted and just profit off it. And I can't call it out without me being labeled a harasser and someone who is doing cancel culture. Like, f you, dude. People are just calling out your rhetoric, and what I'm doing is just dismantling the arguments. I'm dismantling your arguments when it comes to like, oh, all trans people, all trans children come from parents with mental illness. Oh, they have this implanted into them. Like, even Nux Taku. Like, of course I'm calling this shit out.
Listen.
Like, listen to this.
Listen. Why would you be against the LGBT movement? Why would you be against the transgender movement if the transgender movement doesn't affect you at all? Anyway, we're going to teach your children that they should cut their dicks off. Yep, that's right, baby. Don't worry, it's all cool. Not getting involved. Not trying to invade your space at all. But put me in a woman's prison so I can rape the women there.
Like, what the f***? It's crazy. And I can't criticize it. Oh, this is just free speech. Oh, this is just someone sharing their opinion. You shouldn't hold them accountable. It's because you agree with the sentiment. That's what your problem is. This is not what trans rights are about. This is what right-wingers, what Nazis push or pushed back then to mobilize a hate mob and to justify the book burnings and like that. That is what was used. The same with like the groomer shit. Calling doctors who perform medical procedures for trans people groomers, predators. And I can't criticize it. This small bean here can't be like, what the f did you just say? Because that I'm canceling. Maybe more people need to like hear these things and realize what you people are doing. And if I can use this in order to educate and be like, hey, actually, this is based on so much misinformation that the right is pushing. The overwhelming majority of trans women who are getting arrested are being arrested for drug abuse or prostitution, because society creates an environment, a system where trans women don't earn enough, are being discriminated against, and the only thing they can do is sex work. And then they get arrested. And then they get shoved into the men's prison because like, oh, they're all predators anyway. They need to be put in the men's prison. And then we don't care what happens to them in there. We don't care that they are being shoved into the cells of abusive men where they get abused for years with nobody intervening. And then it's like, oh yeah, we don't care what happens. Men on men's violence is not the problem of women to solve. That's what J.K. Rowling said. They're excusing rape because they don't care about the victim. Oh, if you don't want to get raped in prison, then you should just stay out of prison. First of all, I don't think being a sex worker should be criminalized. Actually, I believe that they should be protected. Even if you disagree with that and you think that they should be sent to jail, I don't think that rape should be part of the punishment for that. You need to take a listen to what they're saying so they can hear how absolutely up it is. They don't care because they think it's justified. Oh, but it's the law. It's the law. We're just following orders. Yeah, where did I hear that before? And then you come along and you're like, oh, this person calls it out. Damn, this person is actually doing something bad, and now I have to step in and I have to be like the superior force. Yeah, a lot of people don't want to cross you. A lot of people are scared of you. They're terrified of you. I wonder why that is. If you create an environment, if you create a community that is so toxic and vicious, and you don't care, you support that, you go on stream and you literally give these people the go, the go-ahead to do this. And then I called it out, and then it's like, oh, well, you know, Kirsche got doxxed and had to evacuate the house, and you don't care. I care if someone from my community did that. Show me the screenshots. Just DM them to me. Send me an email. Send me the username of the people who threatened you, and I'm going to make sure that they are not in my community. Because I don't want that in my community. I don't want people to tell you to end your life. I don't want people to tell others that they should be dead and shot or something. I don't want that in my community, but you're totally okay with it. Because you feel justified in doing that, since you think it's for the greater good, for the greater good of free speech. And all you want is literally to have everybody say exactly what you are saying, think what you are thinking, and anyone who breaks free from that deserves to get eradicated. Or like you say, killed. We're going to get to that in a second, because this goes on for like 2 or 3 minutes, I think.
I keep losing.
Mad that they tried to ruin me and instead found out.
That's the thing. We cancel the cancelers. That's right. No, and you want to go and cry. I'm getting harassed. I'm getting bullied. Kirsche got threats. She had to evacuate her house. You think that didn't have anything to do with you?
I don't think that was my fault, personally. If someone did that, obviously, it's shitty to do that. But I think the reason for it was what Kirsche said. Still, I'm not justifying it because it's gross. I don't want Kirsche to be, you know, in danger. What my goal was to be like, hey, you know, this VTuber is spreading Nazi rhetoric, pushes transphobia and other bigotries, pushes the Great Replacement theory. But if you're pushing these talking points, you are threatening, you're endangering marginalized groups. And if these marginalized groups stand up and they call you out, and someone takes it too far, using that to invalidate what I'm doing, using that as a justification for your community doing the same to me, is crazy.
We're not dating.
If it has anything to do with you, then I guess maybe anything that my viewers do doesn't have anything to do with me.
Yeah, it does. Because you portrayed me as a predator, as a groomer, by cutting me off mid-sentence and not actually listening to the context of it. You let your audience fill in the blank to mobilize them to harass me.
Nope, I'm not trying to hear about it. I don't give a I don't have any sympathy. I don't care how you feel. I don't care the negative ways that you get interacted with.
My care is long gone at this
None
point.
of that matters.
I mean, to be fair, your care was never there because you think that because I'm a communist, I deserve to be stabbed or something. You people cheer on for Anders Breivik because he killed a bunch of quote-unquote communists who are quote-unquote a cancer, a tumor that needs to be removed.
Matters to me. If you don't want people to criticize you and you don't like people saying this stuff, too fucking bad. Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, don't start shit if you don't want shit.
Stop fucking around.
I wonder who threw the first punch by spreading misinformation about trans people. Was it me? Or was it the person saying that, like, oh, these trans activists, they're male, AGP males with murder fantasies? I feel like if you say shit like that, then you're actually the one throwing the first punch. If I call you out, if I don't want people to get away with it without criticism, that is not me throwing the first punch. You started this by pushing lies, by saying shit like, trans people actually don't exist. They are just grooming victims. Or like, what did Tecton say? It's just a mental illness. It's just a delusion. You are throwing the first punch because you're pushing these talking points. You're pushing the anti-trans rhetoric. You're playing into the hype. You're doing whatever the feels right to you. And by right to you, I mean right for your Reddit and your pockets. And you don't care about who you are harming. And I just don't want to be complicit by staying silent. I use it in order to educate. If you go to my channel, for example, you will see a lot of videos where I take a bunch of clips of you and then I talk about it on my own or with other trans people. and we share our stories. But you don't care about our stories. You just see that like, oh, this person talks about me in a negative way. They must be eradicated now. Asmongold is lying about trans people. Kids aren't trans. If I have a thumbnail like this, and you go in here, and you look for you see the first clip.
So every trans kid is actually a victim of a parent with a mental illness. That's what I believe.
Yeah, but like what you believe is just stupid and wrong. And then I have like 13 minutes of talking about this, how I knew that I was trans when I was younger, despite not having a supportive family, despite not having the education. I didn't even know that trans people existed. I still experienced the same things that other trans people, other trans kids experience. You are throwing the first stone because you're pushing the bullshit, and I dismantle the bullshit. And then you're like, wow, how dare you actually hold me accountable for the words that come out of my mouth? Wow, I need to threaten you now and send my hate mob after you. And I don't have any sympathy because you dared to speak up. Fuck you. Seriously, what the You're German, you're more than them, understand the dangers of Nazism. It's illegal there for a reason. But there's always loopholes. Aren't you scared that a neo-Nazi party has almost won the national elections there? Oh yeah, I'm terrified. Of course I'm terrified of the rise in fascists everywhere in the world. Because we all know with whom they started. And the propaganda machine has been going rampant for the past 10 years. And everything is breaking down. It's at a point now where people go on the street and have to riot. Because the fascists are pushing more and more to like a authoritarian dictatorship. And everything is going to come crashing down. Everything that was accomplished in the past like 50 years post the war is getting destroyed, and everybody is desperately clinging not to make progress as a society, but to just hold the status quo. You people always talk about the status quo, and then conservatives still talk about how they want to get rid of gay marriage. Conservatives still want to talk about how they want to get rid of women's voting rights. And then we shouldn't challenge that? Why? Because I'm a VTuber? Because I'm a content creator? Because I'm trans? I'm making the whole community look bad because I speak up against you? Because I don't concede to your fascist, ignorant beliefs? And I shouldn't call that out? I shouldn't dedicate my content to calling out these lies in order to educate more people? Because I'm starting Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, how dare I do this to poor Kirsche? I wish more people would stand up against you. Not even just VTubers. Of course, I wish there were more leftist and progressive VTubers who are publicly sharing their leftist and progressive views. But I know how terrified so many are to experience the wrath of the /VT users. The 4chan army of white supremacists who need their VTubers to be pure little anime waifus, and the only political opinions that are allowed are the things that they agree with which are fascist talking points. I think it's very justified to call this out, and I think it's also very justified for example, Offkite to be like, hey, we don't want Kirsche to be there because she's a danger. She's spreading dangerous talking points to a dangerous audience. I hate that it's incredibly lucrative to the point where a lot of VTubers are like, oh, if I just speak out against Nyara and say that like trans kids actually don't exist and this is dangerous rhetoric, then maybe I'm going to get picked up by the Asmongold crowd and I get thrown money at me. Yes, let me do that. We all know how easy it is to get picked up by the grift.
That's it. You can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
No.
That's the way it goes.
No.
And not burn these weirdos to the ground, metaphorically, of course.
Yeah, metaphorically.
They hate being held to their own standards. That's right. See, they love using these arguments and getting a hate mob against somebody else.
No. People are upset with what you're saying because what you're saying is insane. It is very dangerous. It is propaganda. It's fascist propaganda. Of course, people are going to be upset with you if you say like, oh, actually, Palestinians deserve to be genocided because they come from an inferior culture. I don't care about them. Of course, people are going to be upset if you're like, trans people are a cancer. They are parasites who latch onto the LGBT community and getting rid of gay marriage because there's AoE damage. Of course, people are going to be fucking upset if you say like that. That's not me mobilizing a hate mob. What you're doing is cutting me off mid-sentence, push the idea that I'm a groomer, and then being like, look, this person is actually trying to cancel and get rid of Kirsche and is ruining her life. She had to relocate. It's all this poor woman's fault.
But the moment that somebody criticizes their own behavior, now somehow, oh, it's out of context, oh, it's different. And
yeah, it is different. It is out of context.
we're supposed to just believe that all this stuff, like pushing homophobia
Chat, you're making me blush.
and
Shut up.
racism, like, what are you talking about? Allowing people who admittedly are Nazis in their community? What is she, their fucking dad?
True.
Like, what are we going on?
I don't know. Maybe don't retweet them. Maybe don't be like, oh, I don't want these people to have a win, so I'm just going to, you know, let you in there. Quoting Sam Hyde, replying to Tim Pool, quote tweeting Matt Walsh. Like, what the
What's the great replacement theory? It's the idea that, well, there's two versions of it. So their first version, there's the super version and the base version.
I thought there was only one
of the
version.
Great replacement theory is that white people are being replaced demographically, and they will continue to be replaced demographically. The extreme version of that is that Jews are replacing white people demographically intentionally through different types of government
I thought that was the only
controls.
one, because the other one is just
so those are the two. That's
like
the
the
two
politicians
versions of it,
said
right?
it, right?
What about lizard people? Yeah, sure. And especially
lizard
Muslims. Well, I've
people.
never heard the Jew aspect. Well, you need to start listening more. And
True.
Anyway, so this is something, and also, like, by the way, saying demographic changes happen because of immigration or migration, there are evidence demographic changes. The problem, that's not the great replacement theory.
Yes,
Yeah, that's not sure. Sure, immigration happens. Yes. Sure, that is not what I'm referring to when I say that she's pushing the great replacement theory. Like, if I look at statistics and I'm like, well, you know, actually European countries have a influx in immigration and refugees because of like the displacement through the war in Syria, for example, then sure, that's correct. That happens. Yeah. I mean, how is that bad? How is that bad? And then we go into the territory of like white supremacy and like, oh, the inferior cultures are poisoning the white nations and building cultural monuments of their inferior culture. That is when we go into like white supremacy and great replacement theory type territory. When we talk about like, oh, there was a mosque being built, and that is like a hostile demographic takeover. That is literally when we go into like white supremacy and great replacement theory territory, and to like portray it in a way where the normies are going to listen to it and they're going to be like, wait, this is what this person means by great replacement theory? That's insane. In order to like let Kirsche get away with pushing that is quite insane. But I mean, to be fair, Asmon pushes this shit too. So they agree with the sentiment. But of course, they need to like phrase it in a way to make themselves look better. To make themselves look more appealing to the average mind.
Identifying demographic changes is not the great replacement theory.
That is true. That's not the great replacement theory, sure. I agree with that, but that's not what I'm like referring to. As well as master the true essence of propaganda, sprinkling a tiny bit of truth in your lies to better twist the information. Exactly. And that is what I'm trying to call out. That is why I have to make it my whole personality to call this out. That's why you need to make another video and another video and another video, because he keeps lying. He keeps manipulating his audience. And I want more people to speak up. I want more creators to speak up, especially VTubers. I know it doesn't do well for the general public because it's infested with right-wingers. But I feel like a little bit of political talk, a little bit of social justice, a little bit of awareness should be normal. That should be the new status quo. But no. Everybody who is a little bit further to the left than the center needs to shut up. Everybody in the center needs to cater towards the right or stay apolitical. You need to say, oh, they're both sides are bad. Everybody's a little bit too extreme. Can't we find a compromise? If one group wants to eradicate another group, then being in the center and being like, can't you just like eradicate some people of that group? Kind of wild. But yeah, like I'm going to keep speaking out, and if that is just if that is the path that my content is taking, then so be it. As long as I can take these moments in order to like make my point clear, and I can like reach more people and maybe help more people, then I'm good. I'm fine with being in the kitchen. I'm a woman after all.
And this is the same kind of stuff that this is the problem that these people have.
But this is how they paint you as a terrible person.
They try to turn something, like they try to turn a mountain into a molehill into a mountain. You're wrong.
No, you're just like mischaracterizing the mountain as a molehill in order to like invalidate what I'm saying and justifying the agenda and the propaganda of the people that you agree with.
Wrong? No, I'm not. It's very, very obvious what the difference between the two things are.
Yes.
And everybody knows that.
Yes.
So, yeah, and also, like, everything is all or nothing. Yeah, everything's all or nothing. And so you have this happen. Now, this girl is going to go and cry and complain and get mad about it. And she says now she's afraid because, like, is crazy, won't stop attacking me. I'm not attacking you. I'm simply responding to you. And if you take that as an attack, I wonder what people think that you... I wonder how people feel whenever you respond to them.
Exactly.
Surely they don't...
And Asmon and I never went after any of Nyara's forms of income, whereas Nyara has tagged gamer subs like, and other people directly trying to get me dropped from my sponsors.
Need to stop.
I still strongly believe that it's really of gamer subs to partner with someone who is pushing these insane propaganda talking points while pretending to be progressive in order to take the money from progressive creators. Does gamer subs still partner with her? Yes. You didn't lose anything. Now you can argue that like, oh, it's just because your little cancel campaign didn't work. Sure. I'm not satisfied with this outcome. I'm also not satisfied with Vice taking down the articles and you still going after Anna Valence and harassing her and sending your hate mob after her despite saying that you're going to drop it. You said that you're going to drop it, but no, it's still your fucking pinned tweet. They removed it 12 hours after. Why are you still using this? Why are you still using the Vice articles in order to go after Anna Valence despite her moving on like you wanted? You literally said that. Please take these articles down. I promise if you do, I go back to streaming. Sure, you went back to streaming, but your content is literally just harassing, not just Anna Valence, but every journalist, because you have this war. The right has this war with, like, news outlets. Ever since the fucking Gamergate situation, you have these weird wars that you fight with, like, journalists. You won because Vice took down the articles, and you still keep pushing. Why is this still your pinned tweet? You know, like the next video, the next one, this journalist tried to end my career. What a freak. The domestication of a mutt. Going after Anna Valence again. Taking things out of context, or ignoring the context in order to push a narrative. Discredit her. And a lot of people see that and they're like, well, we can't defend Anna because of the things that she said while outrage baiting. That is what you do. Obviously, I'm not getting the same treatment because I'm just a little creator. I'm just a content creator. I'm not a media outlet, not a journalist. But like, what are the takes here? It's like, oh, this trans woman is a sex worker. Let's shame her for her kinks. One time she said something about age play. Must be a pedophile. You still push your homophobia and transphobia without having any consequences. Of course I'm upset at that. Like everything that you've learned was that you can get away with it. And not just that, you can be even more extreme. Because there are no consequences for fascists. There are no repercussions. Asmongold has your back. And then you get like the Starforge sponsorship, the partnership, and then it's like, look, everybody, I'm still marketable. What you are saying, what you are pushing, doesn't deserve to be mainstream.
Making posts and making statements on public platforms. Because if you make a statement that I disagree with on a public platform, I think that I have the right to respond.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody agrees with that. And that's why you're mad.
You make posts on a platform, on a public platform. I respond to it because I disagree with it. I call it out, and then you're mad. So we can just like flip it around and say that you're literally doing what you're accusing me of doing. You basically started it. I called it out. And then it kind of escalated from there. And you think, I don't know, we deserve it. We deserve the harassment because like we dare to disagree with you. There's this one thing from Hasan. Also, what the hello? Tectone? Why is it that anytime Tectone speaks, he sounds like a rapist? The first time I kissed a dude, I was the same way. It's just not my thing. Don't worry, there's always the next time.
Now, I'm not the type of person that runs around and says like, oh, why isn't this celebrity saying anything? Why isn't that celebrity saying anything? Except, and I never thought I would see the day where I become a silence is violence or silence is complicity type person. But goddamn, has the internet become so vicious and so fucking monstrously right-wing that, yes, a little...
Kill him? No, please don't say that in my chat. Actually, please don't. There are things that are too far.
A little bit of moving the needle in this direction by openly stating how frustrated you are with the illegal actions of the federal government is welcomed, okay? It should be encouraged. Like in this space that we're in, they are fearful of repercussions. They are fearful of not being able to like defend their position and maybe not articulate their position well enough. And therefore they are apprehensive at first to say like, yeah, I think what ICE is doing is fucked up. They might believe it, but they won't say it. For others, they are fearful of the repercussions of like coming out against a domineering force in politics in this space that we occupy, where they don't want to say something then and offend the sensibilities of Asmongold and basically create this unimaginable wrath for themselves because no one is fucking able to deal with the sequence of the endless torrent of harassment. So then they just stay quiet. And what I think a lot of those people don't realize, a lot of those people that are not like inherently political people, right? Or they're not like political commentators or whatever. What those content creators don't realize is that like, if you don't build a permission structure to say, no, what the administration is doing is wrong and people that are fucking defending it are also wrong. If you don't do that, then the only voices that you hear are going to be voices like Asmongold and his community. And it creates a permission structure for right-wing attitudes to fester. A lot of these guys that are content creators themselves basically move along with clout. The more domineering a force that they become, the more other content creators that are in the periphery look at that and go, I guess this is like, I guess I have to be kind of right-wing. Or if I'm not, I'm just going to shut the fuck up.
I 100% agree with that. And I can tell you that like the harassment that I got from Asmongold, yeah, it sucks. It sucks, but it wouldn't suck as much if people would support you publicly and draw attention to it so their community supports you. This is not about like fighting back, having people argue in the comment section or whatnot, but people just reaching out and telling you that what you're doing matters to them, because that is, that just like means so much more than having I don't know, 100 people arguing in my comment section. When somebody reaches out to me and they're like, hey, this video actually helped me a lot. I was actually like on the fence of, I don't know, trans healthcare for under 18-year-olds, but your video explained it better and helped me out. Like, that means so much more. But you can only get that if you start supporting each other. If content creators draw attention to it, if content creators make videos. The reason why the harassment wasn't as bad as I initially feared was because Eleganta, Yuko, Sanderhall, Surus were speaking out for me and supporting me, drawing attention to it. And I think if more creators would speak up, then it would be the norm to talk about how trans rights are human rights and not have to fear for your life. Trans rights shouldn't be a political topic. The existence of trans people shouldn't be politicized. We are being used as a scapegoat, as a political tool. And I think more people need to speak out for the support of trans people. More people need to like call out the misinformation. It doesn't even have to be like calling out Asmongold, but you know, just politicians and more people need to like speak out against J.K. Rowling and whatever the f she does with her billions of dollars. And I don't think that should be a controversial statement. I feel like that should just be the norm. But no, we have like this dumbass sitting here in his rotten home, spreading lies and pushing, you know, the same propaganda that was used in 1930s Germany.
You can cry about it and get mad as much as you want, and I'm going to just keep doing it. That's it. Just don't be a scumbag. Yeah. Yeah, and especially name dropping you. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and create morbid fantasies, their enemies being every possible thing. Yep, exactly. Sorry if I disagree with you. Whites are being replaced large scale, concentrated efforts, very intentional. I don't want to argue with you about some bullshit like that, right? Like, I mean, I think that, like, listen, if it's not enough for you to say, like, I very clearly said that, like, yes, demographic changes happen, for sure. They definitely do.
Asmon talking about the great replacement theory? Oh, no.
Is that a bad thing, a good thing, or whatever? But I'm not going to go and go on some, like,
12.
white supremacy tirade about this shit, okay?
I mean, to be fair, you did the white supremacy type of tirade when you talked about how Palestinians come from an inferior culture and they deserve to be genocided. I just want his card house to fall apart. I just want the right-wing media empire to fall apart. Obviously, I myself, I'm not going to get that. But maybe just by being visible, just by being vocal, I can give other people the courage to stand up as well. And I know how terrified it is if you don't have a platform, if you have like 200 followers or something, and then fighting against that and having a hate mob after you. I know that's terrifying. I do not expect people with a very small platform to speak out. I just wish people bigger than me would speak up. But I think the apolitical streamers have had their place. I appreciate that I have been seeing more openly left-leaning streamers lately in the current political climate. Yeah, it's very important to fight back against the propaganda machine that the right has. Because these people have no issues with pushing Nazi rhetoric as long as Nazis throw money at them. If the media landscape would shift, Asmongold would literally be the #1 trans rights advocate. These people don't believe in anything. Takedown went from yo, trans people are pork to like, oh, trans people are mentally ill and delusional.
I understand a lot of other people feel that way. That's not my vibe. I don't really care about that stuff. If somebody else wants to go and do that, that's okay. But that's just what my opinion is.
So he basically says it's okay to spread white supremacy in the great replacement theory. He doesn't do it. He doesn't care about it, but other people can do it, no problem. I thought that like if you disagree with something, then you're going to like talk about it. You said that earlier about me. You're talking about me because you disagree with me, but you have no issues with other people spreading white supremacy in the great replacement theory. Makes sense, because you do support Kirsche.
Is that white supremacy, though? Is it white supremacy? I mean, demographic replacement, is it white supremacy? I don't think so, no.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it's not...
It's not white supremacy to say you don't want
I would
white
say,
people
like, supremacy
to disappear.
is whenever
Oh yeah, a hostile demographic takeover. It's not white supremacy to be like white people shouldn't be genocided because other cultures are coming into the white nations and disrupting them. Yeah, it's not white supremacy. It's like the reason why you are scared that white people are being replaced or eradicated is because you believe that the culture is superior. I have no issue with other cultures being here in Europe. The idea, the concept of white people is also like an American type thing in order to like other some groups. No one's told me that the reason white supremacists fear becoming a minority is because of how they treat minorities. I mean, it's also because like they believe that their culture is superior. They're proud of being white. They're proud of being the oppressors. Society is so cooked. Yeah, it is. And these people have like no issue. They're never calling out anything on the right because they always agree with the sentiment. Just because you're not saying the words that white people are superior doesn't mean that I can go ahead and tell other people the quiet part that you're not saying out loud. Once again, the majority wants to be a minority so they can be special again and blame their loneliness for their personality. I mean, it's also like the victim complex, you know? The same with like Christians being like, oh, in America you can't even pray in schools anymore. Oh, why is there no Christian holiday anymore? Oh, people are being so offended anytime you preach in front of an abortion clinic. You can't even do anything anymore. We're actually Christians are the most persecuted in America right now. Actually, trans people have the most rights and privileges right now. We are actually like the ones who are oppressed. They're recreating the Nazi victim complex. Exactly. And that is what these people are doing with their free speech. Oh, finally, we are able to say whatever we want to say. And it's like, yeah, and that's bad. The things that you're saying is dangerous. It's propaganda. Just check the talking points that you have and compare them to Nazi Germany and see the outcome of what happened when these things become mainstream and normalized. This scene is cooked. This space is cooked. And I blame every single big creator who to this day still refuses to speak up. I know that in a lot of cases, it's already too late. You know, the ship has sailed a month ago. But I hate how normalized it is to say vile bullshit and not have any consequences for it. Once Elon Musk took over Twitter and turned it into the propaganda machine X, this space was cooked. It was destined to lead up to this point. And it became more and more normalized for anyone in the center to the left to be quiet while the far right voices are being boosted.
Or you think that a race is inherently better than another race. Like that's what white supremacy is, right? I mean, that's primarily.
There's like a lot of nuance to it, though. A lot of the talking points that, you know, people like Asmongold have are rooted in that belief. And then people come along and then they're like, well, you know, Kirsche never actually said that like white people are superior, so she's not a white supremacist. And you're actually committing, you know, a crime by insinuating that. And it's like, yeah, but like the talking points that she has are rooted in that sentiment. Just because she doesn't say the quiet part out loud doesn't mean there isn't the quiet part.
Well, yeah. So dumb to push this stuff online.
It's why they said that it's okay to be white as a white supremacist dog whistle.
How is objecting your racist replacement supremacy? Yeah, exactly. And so like
I mean, it is. It's the same with like Elon Musk going ahead to the AfD in a meeting and being like, well, Germany needs to move on from its past. Oh, Germans should be proud of being Germans again. Germans are being held back by their past too long. They need to move on. What the f do you think this means?
I think that there's like a lot of nuance to it.
Did he actually say that? Elon Musk faces criticism for encouraging Germans, this was AfD meetings, to move beyond past guilt. It's good to be proud of German culture and German values and not to lose that in some sort of multiculturalism that dilutes everything. That in an apparent reference to the Nazi era, Musk added that there's frankly too much of a focus on past guilt and we need to move beyond that. Children should not be guilty of the sins of their parents, let alone their parents, their great-grandparents. He said as the crowd applauded. What the f do you think this means? Germans are too worried about, like, you know, their past. It's also like this idea of, like, Germans, you know, Germans should be proud of their culture. Germans should be proud of their German values. And it's like, you can be proud. You can be proud of your culture and your values. But there's a huge difference depending on what part of the culture and what your values are that you're proud of. Being proud of your heritage. That is like, you know, that's kind of going on the territory. I don't believe that people should be proud of being born white. I don't think that people should be proud of being born men, being born male, and being cis men, cis straight men, being proud of being straight. I don't think that works. Because if you're the status quo, if you're the oppressors, then being proud of that just means that you're proud to be part of the oppressors. That you're proud that you're not a part of marginalized groups. And I think that's kind of disgusting. The reason why LGBTQ people have pride, why there's Pride Month, is because we are fighting for rights. We are fighting for equality. It is like we're being shamed for being different. We are being pushed back. That's what those who are part of the minority, those who are part of the marginalized groups of the oppressed mean when they say that, you know, it's okay to be gay. It's okay to be trans. But like, if you're saying that like, oh, it's okay to be white, it's okay to be straight, it's like, what do you actually mean with that? Because like, society doesn't shame you for being straight. Society doesn't shame you for being white, but you want your victim complex. You want your victimhood. You want to be oppressed so bad. And you think that like other groups fighting for equality means that you are losing your privilege and thus you're losing your rights. When in reality, we just want your rights, your privilege to be the norm for everyone. That is literally just what it means. You're not losing anything other than, I guess, your privilege. And that makes you feel like the victim. But you're still able to have these things. You still have video games with cis straight white men as protagonists. And a different game with people of color is not taking away from it. It just gives other groups the representation they desperately deserve.
But there are people that do it for racial reasons too, obviously. But yeah, people love to cry about this and they love to get mad and stuff like this. But I just want you to know that, you know, for years we've had to live under the thumb of people that are like this, that have constantly tried to cry bully their way into making every single person
I need to hear my husband, I'm sorry.
and say what they want. And those days are over.
Yeah, oh my god. There were consequences for saying Nazi shit. Now there are no longer consequences for Nazi shit. Now we're justified in saying Nazi shit. Now everybody can come out as a Nazi. There are no repercussions for Nazis anymore. Let's go. Isn't that good? You deserve to be suppressed. Your views deserve to be shut down. Because what you're saying is dangerous. Your bigotry shouldn't be normalized.
Those days are over. And I'm going to do my best job to kill them as well as I can.
Metaphorically, of course.
Metaphorically, of course.
Metaphorically, of course.
And I enjoy it.
Metaphorically, of course.
I enjoy it. It's very fun for me to do this.
Oh,
and yeah, I hate people that are like this.
Killer,
I hate everything they stand for. I hate the way they behave. I don't like anything about them. And so I hate what they represent. I hate everything about them. And that's it. Probably kill is the wrong word. Well, I mean, it's killing an idea, not killing the people, obviously. It's crazy. I mean, what do you think? You're like them? No, that's what they want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem. They're the ones sending the death threats.
No, we're not. We're the ones receiving them from your audience, and you condoning it.
People are going to misunderstand you again? Of course.
They always do.
Of course. Who
It's metaphorically, of course.
cares? Somebody misunderstands me on purpose. What happens?
Chat metaphorically, of course. Kill the idea. Suppress the voices. Kill the ideology. Not the people. No. He just goes ahead and speaks about how he wants to run over the protesters.
There's like a Twitter thread and 5 people are mad and I get to react to it and make content about it tomorrow.
Monetize your haters, chat.
Like, why would I give a fuck about that? Yeah, like, it doesn't matter to me at all.
A few people are mad, so I'm going to react to it and turn it into content and make money off it. Send my hate mob after the 5 people who are mad, who don't have a platform and an audience, because, like, how dare they? How dare they speak up? Go after anyone who talks badly about me. Even if it's just a thread with, like, 2 views. Gotta kill the idea. Not the people, of course. Kill the idea. Feels so justified in doing these things. Like, it's crazy.
Well, little mouse. Keep it up.
Just like hating the sin, but not the sinner.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just look where we are now.
It's like hating the sin, but not the sinner. Yeah. Being gay is like a sin. And like, I don't hate you as a person. I just hate your lifestyle. And like, I want to save you by bringing you to God, and I don't want you to be tormented. Like, obviously, it's just because we are all sinners after all, and I don't hate everybody. It's just, you know, you're doing these things, and I want you to be happy. But like, you know, my faith is just like, I don't respect your lifestyle, and you should respect my faith, because otherwise I'm going to be really upset, and I'm going to send Asmongold after you.
Yeah, wait, yeah, it's gonna bring in more views, more people are gonna watch.
Back to this weird article. They bring up.
I don't know what came after this. I don't know what like rant transpired before that. I just saw this one segment and thought that was interesting.
Everybody